Well, I'm upset, YouTube. Yes, my friends, I am not very happy. I have played the Princess Peach Showtime demo, as I'm going to show you in this video, and let me tell you, this game went from me not caring about it to me now being excited for it. And I'm not happy about that. I had other games that I was really looking forward to, and to be honest, Nima has limited funds, so when we're talking about some of these games, Pepper Grinder, Unicorn Overlord, which I will be playing at midnight tonight, even Kingdom Come, like there's some money going in on that stuff. But now I want to buy Princess Peach Showtime. And so in the demo, you actually get to try 2 plays. The whole story of it is Peach decides that she's going to go to a theater and go see a play. Her and a couple of her Toad friends. And essentially, this like evil witch had trapped them all there and had basically corrupted all of the plays. And there's numerous plays. So you're allowed to do Sword Peach and Pastry Peach. I started off with Sword Peach, and to be honest, it was kind of what I expected. Yes, the game looked gorgeous, as it is. It's a Nintendo game. They're all going to look really good. They're going to perform really well and control well as well. But I will say, like, the controls for me were a little simplistic, a little slow, and I even felt like the combat was a little slow. It could have been a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit better. And that, though, is coming from Prince of Persia. So, I'm sure some of that had to do with it as well. But the first thing I did notice was that Peach's main weapon, even before becoming any of these other different Peaches, is that she has a ribbon. And this ribbon, you can actually use it to sort of not resurrect people or heal them, but to sort of, I don't know, give them a spark, give them a boost. And this can be a way that you interact with a lot of the NPCs and also the environment itself. And by hitting on certain things, you can actually get stars and junk like that. But it's a small little mechanic, I noticed. Anyway, though, once you are able to interact with a spark, you're then, or a sparkle? I think it's a sparkle. I don't know. But you're then able to become a different Peach. And like I said, the first run through, the first play was of Sword Fighter Peach. And it was really fun, like you would expect. And I also really like how the enemies sort of dance as they get taken down. Like, everything is very theatrical. And I really do like how much work they put into that. And like with the animations and things of that nature, it was very apparent that, yes, this is a play. This is something that is observed, but it's also corrupted. It's not like you're safe here, but it's just done in a really nice way that you can tell that the attention to detail was very important to them. Well, as I said, though, it was slower than I would have expected, or maybe slower than I was expecting. And the combat wasn't very difficult, which, again, I don't expect that either. I sort of expected this to be a very accessible game, and that's honestly what it is. But what I started to really appreciate, though, was things like counters and dodges. Just things like you wouldn't expect in a lot of Mario games and Nintendo games in general that isn't, Zelda or Metroid. But there is some depth to the combat, even though it is rather simplistic. I also really appreciate the hidden items and the collectible aspect of these type of games. You're trying to look for stuff to 100% the level. At the same time, you're also, trying to accomplish your goal. So I did appreciate those pieces being there, and the fact that the game very much looked like a Paper Mario game, or what I expect the Paper Mario game to look like. Yet with, again, some depth, some more complexity that I didn't really expect. And again, like at this point, I was like, okay, well, this is cool, and it's sort of what I expect it to be. I know my 3-year-old daughter really wants the game, so I figured at some point I'd just rent it from the library or maybe find it used somewhere. Not that excited for it, but I continued to play the demo, and then I went into the Pastry Peach, which at this point I was like, that's not going to be fun. Why would I be interested in that? Why would a full-grown man be interested in a pastry chef version of Peach? Like, what could that part of this game actually, I don't know, implicate, or what could it provide that would make me, excited for it? Well, it did just that. It implicated what the next levels were going to be like, and that is why I'm excited for it. Because what that told me was not only was it really fun, and I'll get to that in a second, but it's the fact that this isn't just one game. You see, each play is a different style of game, with maybe similar controls, but different objectives, different obstacles that you have to overcome, and some can be very much like mini game-ish or overarching like traditional bad guy boss that you're trying to reach and beat. There's a whole array of different games in this game that are all part of the same storyline and which will conclude the game itself. So that's made me really excited for the other games. And part of the thing I will say was playing the pastry chef Peach or pastry Peach. That was really fun. It was a lot more fun than I thought. Yeah, see, you start in as you come into this world that's like full of sweets and cookies and cakes and whatever, and the corrupt bad guys that the evil witch had brought about steals all of the sweets and takes them, and so Peach is there to help them create more. Well, you first start with like the cookies, and if I'm being honest, it was kind of boring. You're basically just mashing B, but you're stopping at the right time, because if you do it too much, you'll basically cause like the cookie mixture to explode. Then you're taking the cookies and you're putting them on a little tray or whatever to add to, your whole collection of cookies you're trying to rebuild. But then the cake thing is a lot of fun. You're given a little, like, I forget the name of them, but that's where they squeeze the icing on a cake, and the cakes will sometimes move, and you're basically trying to replicate other cakes. And if you look in the upper right hand corner, you'll see what the cake is supposed to look like. So they'll put down this like base cake under you, and then you got to kind of try to make that same thing, almost like drawing on the cake. And I just thought that was really fun. It was a lot more entertaining than I thought. And so ultimately I came away thinking, oh, I wonder what the next play is. I wonder how many of them are going to be as just fun. And that's what Nintendo does, You can always expect Nintendo to make a fun game. I am not in the least a Nintendo fanboy. Even though I love Zelda, I really like Metroid, and I think Mario's okay. I've never been one who's like just amped up on first-party Nintendo. And that's honestly why I wasn't that excited for Princess Peach Showtime. But after playing this, I don't know, I just think like it's a nice palate cleanser. Like as much as I play games that are more serious and far more punishing, sometimes it's nice to have that in your back pocket. And thinking about that was also me playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land, where at first I was like, yeah, this game's kind of dull and slow and I don't love it. By the time I beat the game, I loved Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like it changed me throughout the game. And so that's given me like this thought of being just a little bit more lenient towards Nintendo. And after playing this, I'm pretty excited. Like, I don't know if I'm going to buy it day one, but I probably will buy it relatively soon after it drops. But I don't know, I just want to tell you guys my thoughts and my experience with the Princess Peach Showtime demo, and ask you if you've had a chance to check it out. This is a game you're interested in. I also put like a community post up. But anything and everything in the comment section below is much appreciated. I love each and every one of you guys. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.